Hello, everybody. James here again. I want to talk about this recent proposal by the GOP in Congress about rescinding the federal charter of the National Education Association. The NEA is one of the largest unions in the country. They represent a lot of teachers and students, too. And their charter has been in existence. A federal charter, in fact, has been in existence since 1906. So for almost 120 years, we've had this charter that the NEA has used to represent teachers and educators around the country. And now the GOP, backed by the Heritage Foundation and the Freedom Foundation, two ultra-right-wing conservative think tanks. This is part of their, another part of the scheme to eliminate public education or defund it to the point that it doesn't operate. Kids, the average, normal, everyday American kids can't get a decent education. So Marsha Blackburn, senator from Tennessee, Representative Mark Harris from North Carolina, and some other Republican GOP members of Congress have put forth a proposal to eliminate the charter and basically take away teachers' rights to strike. So why does the GOP keep going after labor unions? Well, it's quite simple. Labor unions are traditionally the tip of the spear in the fight against corporate greed, the ultra-wealthy, big corporations, so on and so forth. Union wages usually pull up wages for folks that are non-union. And the rich and ultra-wealthy know this. It's no secret. So going back to the NEA and this charter, the Heritage Foundation, the Freedom Foundation, they want to convince Congress to repeal this so they can basically take what little power they have left. And they do this under the guise that the NEA is some sort of extreme left group. Well, it's not. This is the typical divide and conquer that the GOP uses all the time. They try to make it sound like any group that promotes dignity and well-being to most of the population is some sort of extreme group. They've tried to paint this picture for unions all along. And for some reason, it works to some extent, but people are starting to wake up to this fact that unions are here for a reason. We don't need to curb unions' power, we need to expand it. The PRO Act that was introduced several years ago needs to be passed so we can make it easier for people to join unions. But the GOP, they're not interested in that. They're interested in taking away all the power that working people typically have through a union to represent them and to promote causes in Congress. And then they say, well, they spend a lot of their money for partisan causes through the Democratic Party. That may be true, but let's talk about the billionaires and all the dark money that gets funneled to GOP folks, like Marsha Blackburn, Virginia Foxx, Representative Mark Harris, and so on and so forth. These people take huge sums of money from people like the Heritage Foundation, the Freedom Foundation, the National Right to Work Foundation, and many other corporate interests out there. So if we want to talk about extreme, let's talk about the extreme amount of money they pour into politics to get what they want. So give Senator Marsha Blackburn and Representative Mark Harris a holler. Let them know what you think about this.